It's 10:17 p.m. The city outside your window is still glowing. Your phone lights up one more time. You think, I'll just check this one notification. Then it turns into one more video. Then another. You tell yourself, okay, 5 more minutes. Before you even realize it, an entire hour has slipped by. Finally, you collapse into bed. Your body is exhausted, but somehow your mind has never been more awake. Now imagine a different evening. A quiet Japanese home, shoes placed neatly by the door, warm bath steam drifting through the hallway. The lights are soft and warm. Nobody's rushing around. Nobody's lying in bed trying to force themselves to fall asleep. Instead, there are just a few simple little rituals that quietly tell your body, all right, the day's over now. And here's the part that surprised me. None of these rituals are about sleeping longer. They're about sleeping deeper. Tonight, you're going to find out why the best sleep often begins long before your head touches the pillow. Most of us think of sleep like a light switch. Flip it, and you're supposed to be out. Tired, lights off, done. And when that doesn't happen, we assume we just need more hours. Maybe you've noticed this too. You get into bed early, hoping the extra hour fixes everything, and instead you just lie there, wide awake, replaying your day like a movie that won't stop. Here's what's actually happening. It's not that you're not sleeping enough, it's that your evening never actually ended. Bright lights, scrolling, a heavy dinner, a mind full of tomorrow's tasks, a bedroom that looks more like a storage room than a place to rest. It all keeps your body in day mode, right up until the second you expect it to switch into sleep mode. Bodies don't work like that. What if the problem was never your bedtime, but what happens in the 2 hours before it? One thing I really like about Japanese evening culture is that it doesn't try to force sleep. Instead, it gently gets you ready for it. There's this idea called which is all about leaving a little pause between one thing and the next. So instead of finishing a busy day and jumping straight into bed, you give yourself a chance to slow down first. And then there's Ichigo Ichie, the idea of being fully present in this one moment. Instead of lying in bed already worrying about tomorrow, you actually let yourself finish today before moving on to the next day. So here's what I want to share with you. 8 simple little changes that are all based on this calm, unhurried way of winding down at the end of the day. Some are physical, like a bath. Some are mental, like what you do with an unfinished to-do list. And a few go deeper, into how you relate to sleep itself. I'll tell you now, the 7th one flips the usual bedtime advice completely. And the last one might be the hardest to actually believe, even though it matters most. Before the list, though, one thing worth understanding. Sleep, in this way of thinking, isn't something you chase or control. It's something you invite. You don't force a guest through the door. You prepare the room, make it comfortable, and wait. That's the whole shift tonight. From trying harder to preparing better. Let's start with the first one. You finish work. Maybe you close the laptop or just sit down after a long day. But your body doesn't stop. It's like a car engine still running after you've parked it. You're still replaying a conversation from hours ago, still half thinking about tomorrow's email. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Your nervous system can't instantly flip from alert mode into rest mode. The sympathetic nervous system keeps you sharp during the day, and a completely different one, the parasympathetic system, has to take over for real rest. That handoff takes time. It's not a switch. It's a dimmer. So the first shift is simple. Create a landing zone. About 60 minutes before bed, dim the lights, lower the noise, move a little slower than you have all day. This is in action. A deliberate pause between the busyness of your day and the stillness of your night. Rest doesn't begin the moment you lie down. It begins the moment you decide the day is finished. But even once the mind slows, the body is still carrying the whole day inside it. Picture steam rising off a deep, warm bath. Dream goes quiet. Your shoulders, tense without you noticing, start to drop. In a lot of Japanese homes, a shower is for getting clean. The bath, called Ofuro, is for something else. It's not rushed, not done while scrolling. It's recovery. rooted in an older bathing culture built around family and community, where soaking was a shared, unhurried part of the day. And there's real biology behind it. A warm bath raises your body temperature, and the cooling afterward is one of the signals your brain uses to release melatonin. It also seems to lower stress hormones and improve circulation. So a soak roughly 60 to 90 minutes before bed isn't just relaxing. It's a clear physical instruction to your body. The day is over. You know what's interesting? After a while, it doesn't even feel like you're taking a bath to get clean. It feels more like you're leaving the whole day behind. But even a relaxed body can be kept awake by one thing: an unfinished tomorrow. Think about lying in bed and suddenly remembering something you forgot, or mentally planning tomorrow's schedule. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished tasks stay mentally loud in a way finished ones don't. Your brain treats an open loop like an alarm it won't turn off. So the habit here is preparing tomorrow, tonight. Packing the bag, laying out clothes, closing the notebook after writing down what's left undone. It takes 5 minutes, but it tells your brain, this is handled, you can let go now. A peaceful tomorrow starts the night before. By this point, your mind is probably feeling a little calmer. But there's still something that's been quietly affecting your sleep this whole time. Your room. Simple bedding. Soft, warm-toned lighting instead of anything harsh. Very little decoration. Here's something interesting. Visual clutter isn't just aesthetic, it's cognitive. Your brain never fully stops processing what's in front of it, and clutter subtly raises your stress without you noticing. Traditionally, many Japanese rooms were multi-purpose. Futons laid out at night, put away during the day, naturally keeping bedrooms from becoming storage. You don't need to redesign your whole room tonight. Just remove 3 things you don't need in there. Your room is quietly speaking to your nervous system every night. But your environment isn't only what you see, it's also what your body is processing internally. Something else I found really interesting is how simple Japanese dinners often are. Instead of a huge late-night meal, it's usually something lighter, maybe some warm soup in smaller portions. And it makes sense because if your body's working hard to digest a big dinner all night, it can't put the same energy into recovering while you sleep. Eating earlier and lighter, common in Japanese evening meals, tends to support better sleep quality and smoother overnight metabolism. Finishing dinner 2 to 3 hours before bed gives your body real space to recover instead of digest. But food isn't the only thing quietly overstimulating your brain. Phone face down, a book opens instead, tea steams on the table. This is where it gets surprising. A lot of people assume screens are just a blue light problem. But the bigger issue is that scrolling and replying are interactive, keeping your brain emotionally engaged, almost like a conversation that never ends. Just removing the phone without replacing it with anything usually leaves people bored and restless. Reading, tea, light stretching, a real conversation, journaling. The brain doesn't just need less stimulation, it needs a softer ending to the day. And yet, one habit quietly controls almost everything we've talked about. Morning sunlight, an alarm going off. You get up at the same time, even on weekends. Here's what's interesting. Most people obsess over bedtime and ignore wake-up time completely. But your circadian rhythm is set far more by when you wake and get light exposure than by when you fall asleep. A consistent wake-up time builds sleep pressure throughout the day, which naturally makes you tired around the same time each night. Strangely, the morning teaches the night how to behave. But one last obstacle can undo everything. You stop checking the clock. You stop counting hours left. You just lie still. This is where sleep anxiety creeps in, trying harder, watching the clock, feeling like sleep is a test you can fail. Ironically, that pressure is often exactly what keeps people awake. There's a concept called Wabi-sabi, accepting imperfection, instead of chasing something flawless. Some nights won't be perfect, and that's fine. The shift here is trusting the routine you've built, instead of obsessing over any one night's outcome. Sleep tends to arrive quietly, right when it stops being chased. So here's the real point behind all of this. A better night's sleep was never about forcing your body to shut down faster. It's about giving your evening enough space to actually end. Rest isn't something you achieve through discipline. It's something you allow once your body, your room, and your mind have all been permitted to stop. You don't need to change your whole life tonight. Just pick one. A warm bath 90 minutes before bed. 5 minutes preparing tomorrow. Putting the phone face down and picking up a book instead. The city outside your window is still glowing tonight, just like before. Nothing out there has changed. But this time, you don't rush into bed hoping sleep shows up on its own. You dim the lights, you take a warm bath, you prepare tomorrow, you put the phone away, you step into a quiet room, and maybe, for the first time in a while, your evening feels like it's carrying you toward sleep, instead of fighting against it. Choose just one of these rituals and let it become the first quiet conversation between your evening and tomorrow morning. Sometimes the smallest habit doesn't just change how you sleep, it changes how you wake up. So tell me, which one of these would you actually try tonight? And which one do you think would be hardest for you to let go of? Drop it in the comments, and if this changed how you're thinking about your evenings, share it with someone who needs a better night's sleep too.